My name is Adrian Castillo. I am a solutions architect at HID Global, and we focus on identity management solutions, especially strong authentication. We see many pervasive problems, but one of the main ones is the use of passwords. Organizations are still using passwords, and people are still using passwords that are definitely not appropriate for the problems that you have today or the threats that you see today in the IT infrastructure. Passwords are easy to steal, and people can be lured by phishing attacks to give away their passwords and give their credentials to unauthorized people who can reuse them to access. People usually don't have good password hygiene. They reuse the same password at different sites. Those passwords then are easily compromised and can be reused at other unrelated sites. The problem is also compounded by the fact that with passwords you have a user experience that is suboptimal. So people create cope mechanisms like reusing the same password, using passwords that are easy to guess through social engineering attacks, and they end up exposing the organization. In reality, it's much more than an IT problem. It's a full business problem because they expose the organization to breaches. People can easily get into the accounts and do lateral movements once they are inside. The attackers, once they are inside the network, they can have access to other systems and basically compromise the system. So the use of passwords is probably one of the big hurdles that we see, that we try to tackle. And connected to that, well, the other risks associated with credential stealing. One of the areas that we are at the forefront of trying to address this password problem, as part of an organization called the FID Alliance, we promote the use of an alternative technology called Passkeys. Passkeys essentially replace your password with a hardware-backed cryptographic key that you can store in a smart card, in a USB key, or even in your mobile phone. And then you can use this secure cryptographic authentication to access the same websites, the same applications. It's multi-platform, and the industry is moving forward to adopt this technology. In addition to Passkeys, because, well, this is a new technology, we have other mechanisms of strong authentication, the traditional using an app or using hardware tokens, and then trying to, because of course fraudsters, once you close the door with the password and you have a passkey instead, they would not just go home, they try to find other ways to get into the system. So we also have fraud monitoring systems to detect other signals to make sure that the access is authorized, and also onboarding. Onboarding is an important area to make sure that you give the passkey or the identity credential to the right person in the first place. One of the important changes that we are seeing is massive adoption of Passkeys. Large organizations, of course, other organizations like Microsoft or Google, who are also members of the FID Alliance, have adopted their infrastructure and their systems to support Passkeys. So today it's perfectly possible to have passwordless accounts in large consumer websites. And more we see financial institutions, enterprises, healthcare providers adopting this technology to provide to their users a better user experience, but also much higher security. So we believe that this adoption of Passkeys will be followed by other improvements in the digital identity landscape in general, better onboarding processes, and better control of the identity attributes by users themselves, especially in consumer applications where you want users to be able to control what information they disclose to parties that they interact with.